For starters, I took some Virtual Riot, just some perk loops and some drum fills. Yeah, they're pitched up, and then I took them and I dropped them in. I used thirds for the majority of this. So if I go to 1/3 beat, as you can see, they fall onto the thirds. I like using thirds for future rhythm because it makes it more, like bouncy sounding. It's a little bit more fast paced as well, especially since we're only on 150. So yeah, this is what it sounds like with no effects. It's just the, just the percussions. So I did still throw some variation in there, obviously. I have some different toned percussions. I cut up this sample, and then I have this percussion. And so I just layered those out in a rhythm that kind of sounds funky. It sounds original. There are some of them that are not on thirds, as you can see right here. This one does fall in fourths a little bit, like right there and right there. Yeah, pretty simple though. Very just making it sound as bouncy as I could. Riddim-y sounding. And then now's the fun part. I throw some effects on it. First effect I'm going to throw on it is I'm going to pitch it down about 30 hertz. I'm going to use this frequency shifter to modulate the frequencies as well, especially in this latter half. I have it pitched down 30 cents, and then I'm going to modulate that frequency halfway through. This is what it sounds like when I modulate the frequency. As you can see, it's very small changes, but it really affects a lot. And these are only like 1% changes, 50 to 57%. Yeah, and then after the frequency shifter, I have two dispersers, one tuned to F4, one tuned to F5. That's going to bring through some of the fundamental frequencies of those keys. Basically, I'm just trying to bring these to be actually tonal and in F. Following that, we have some compression. I like to use OTT, just some nice multiband compression. This is what I usually do. Pretty simple. I just turn up the in-gain, turn up the time, and turn down the depth a good amount, usually between 30 and 60%. Free parametric EQ, this is just working as a high pass. This EQ is cutting out some of the 3600 hertz. That's just kind of that annoying, like, ear-ringing frequency. Distortion, some serum effects. This is doing quite a bit, so we're gonna distort the crap out of the sound with some tube distortion. We're gonna add some comb filter to make it, just to bring in some delay. Multiband compressor after the distortion and comb filter. And then for some stereo width, I like to add hyper dimension. I turn down the hyper all the way and just turn up the dimension a little bit on both knobs. Now we have some hard clip distortion. I really like kilohertz distortion. It's one of my favorite plugins. After that, we have some fruity reverb. This is just really low. Its wet level's only like 5%. Have the high cut up all the way and the low cut up a good amount. That's just going to bring in some of the top end reverb that it just kind of needs, so it doesn't feel as empty. Fruity balance. This is just for sidechained, so that the drums don't interfere with everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I made that bass. I'm going to move on to the sub bass. Really simple sub bass. It's just a sine wave that cuts off pretty quick. I do have some, I think, asymmetrical distortion on it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. As far as the drums go, I have a bunch of drums layered. I like to layer my drums a lot, and then I clip them so that they sound, just a little bit thicker, a little chunkier. I think they sound pretty good. Some people don't like that, some people do. As far as cymbals go, the only thing I'd recommend, I'm not one to judge you if you use cymbal loops because they're not really noticeable. But I would take out some of the transients on the snare hit, or find a loop that has it already cut out like this one does. That'll just make it so that your snare pops a little more. And yeah, then I've got just some pretty basic chants. I have some OTT compression and I think delay on these. And I could even go in and cut out some of the low end on these, because that's pretty harsh. And yeah, that's basically it. The rest is just simple effects. Yeah, that's basically it. The sidechain, I have really thick sidechain. Not super precise, but just cutting out, making sure that the audio for the basses and the effects ducks a bunch, just so the drums really punch through. And yeah, we're gonna do one final listen, and that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching. Peace.